Waiting. Boom, go live. Going live, we are live. Tweet it out. We are live. Happy Monday, people. Let's check. You guys hear me okay? Hopefully the music's okay. I promise I won't forget my big head this time. Alright? It was a bad time last time. I know I got caught with the big head during the highlights. Not gonna happen this time. Promise you. Audio is good. Thank you, Dom Stutzman. Thank you for that. Boo Stoneman. It's a good name. Welcome to the stream. Here a couple minutes early. We'll give a few minutes for people to stream in, but happy Monday. How you guys doing? Hopefully things are going all right. It's very hot here in Troy, Michigan. Extremely hot. Went on a walk after work with the dog, and I was just like, nope, not going to do it. Daylen Baldwin, man. Dude's got a ton of potential. I'm really excited to watch his film. It's going to be a... he's probably the guy that you got to watch the most, right? Because he's either going to start or he's going to be the first guy off the bench for the outside wide receiver position. So it'll be interesting to watch him develop. But he was like the number 6 or number 5 wide receiver in the transfer portal. Had an Ohio State offer. 6'3". It says 185. He's listed at 210. So that, I think, is a little bit off. So he's got great size. He's a guy who's going to come in right away and play for the Wolverines. It's just a matter of how quickly and how, I think how quickly. And whether he's like the first off the bench or he's the first, a starter. I think he's first off the bench. There's time it takes to learn the offense. But we'll see. I'm excited. I'm glad Michigan went for an outside wide receiver. They definitely needed one. It gives them so many options with the depth chart they have. You can utilize guys like Roman Wilson and Ronnie Bell elsewhere. Got a recent comp. That's a tough one, Dom. He actually kind of reminds me a little bit of Tariq Black. If Tariq Black didn't get hurt. So I think Tariq Black out of high school is a pretty good comp. Let's look at Tariq Black. His scouting report out of high school. Yeah, around the same size, 6'3", 215. I think his profile is pretty on par. Because he had like good speed, right? Not like the best speed, but he was a strong-handed wide receiver. Yeah, I think Tariq Black is probably what my comp would be. I think you have probably a little more speed out of Daylen Baldwin. Not as physical as Tariq Black. And obviously not an injury issue out of Baldwin, so that's good. Boo Stoneman, a tornado almost hit my house, totaled my barn. No livestock, and uprooted 30 trees. Holy cow, man. Where do you live? That's wild. Totaled your barn. That sucks. I mean, I'm glad there's no livestock, and glad it didn't hit your house. So if it's going to hit anything, barn with no livestock is probably the best case scenario. But that's crazy. 30 trees? Whew. That's serious stuff. All right, we got about 30 seconds here. Let's pull up the highlights. We got about 10 minutes here. Lower a little head here. Why is it a little grainy? This has to just be the source footage. Yeah, okay. Pull up Epic Pen. This is what we use. Live in mid-Michigan. Damn, that's crazy, man. Okay, remember what I said. Boom, small head. I did it. I remembered. You were here. You saw it. Boom, boom. Oops, that's control, not shift. Okay, you guys ready? Let's get into it. Daylen Baldwin, 6'3", 210, 215-pound wide receiver out of Jackson State. Guy runs around the 4.4s, 4.5s, probably closer to low 4.5s if I'm a guessing man. Strong receiver, consistently wins over the top. You'll see lots of plays here. He's winning through traffic. I think his speed stands out at the size he is. I think he's a willing blocker, so that's really good. The thing that's interesting about him before we dive into the film, usually with transfers, you're like, well, what happened with this guy, right? Did he bounce around because of academics? Did he bounce around because of misbehavior? Whatever that is. He truly just didn't have the offers out of high school. So a little bit underdeveloped out of high school. Took him a couple years to get there. But everything in terms of like academics, his personality, it all kind of lines up really well with Michigan. So this isn't like a risky get or like will he contribute or not. It's just a guy that had it took him a while to realize his true potential, and now he's like an actual NFL level prospect, and he's reaping the rewards of that. So let's dive in here. This will be mainly Jackson State highlights. We'll get into high school highlights. Able to get the slant. He actually has a pretty good route tree overall. Here, I don't know what happens. This has to be just a misrun route from the inside guy, right? Because we don't see what's going on at the bottom, but it has to be just two verts, right? Just boom, vertical, and this inside wide receiver right here. This guy just went too far towards the sideline, just kind of encroached on Daylen Baldwin's route here, but able to catch that despite his teammate being right there. Devontae Parker as a comp. I would have to look at his film. To be honest, I'm not really familiar with his game, so I don't know. I can look him up later, though. Here, again, so this is one of the clips I highlighted in my film that I really liked of his. Runs a good route here, and this is one we actually get a good replay of him off the line of scrimmage. So good release, right? Boom, good release. He accelerates pretty well. And then I like his subtle little hand fighting here, right? Just a little push there, right? You could argue this could be offensive pass interference. This dude just falls, okay? This level of hand fighting is 50-50, right? 25 was grabbing on right there. There's a little push off, a little shove. Thing I like, he pairs this well, right? First step here is just a little push, and then he goes to the sideline, right? So he uses that momentum to push off of him to kind of get to the sideline. So it's just a subtle little push. It'd be really hard for that to actually get called. That'd be very unlucky. But then he's able to adjust in the air, turn his body, and then those are some strong hands, right? Strong hands right there to secure that catch. So to turn your body 180 degrees like that and secure that catch, fingertip grab, is really good. Here's another play I really like just because he's catching the ball a step ahead. And what I mean by that, when he's catching the ball here, what kind of route is this even? We don't even really see it. It seems like just a comeback route, right? So he's on the outside here. He just runs like a curl, right? Maybe like a deep curl, you could call that. But as he's catching the ball, right, he's setting up this guy, okay? So he has good vision to recognize this is the area I need to go. So as soon as he catches it, right, he recognizes where the defenders are, and this guy is the main competition, right? So he's going to, as he catches this, he's already thinking about this route or this path that he needs to take. So as soon as he catches it, right, he's already looking at the path he needs to take. So that's really good, just like advanced wide receiver skill set, I guess you could say, where he's already thinking of, okay, what do I do after the catch, right? So not only, boom, I'm going to secure the catch. As soon as I secure it, he has a plan, right? So he's able to maximize the amount of yardage. And then right here, as soon as he punishes 15 for this really bad angle, right? As soon as he punishes this, he does a good job of bending it back to the sideline. So he's truly maximizing yards. And that's one thing about Nico Collins, great wide receiver. He was more of a possession guy, right? He didn't really have the speed to really take the top off the defense. And he does that. Couple questions here. Dependent Fanatic, I like what I see and hear about Daylen. Yeah, he's a good prospect. Those are from your last video. Yeah, he has potential to be most impactful transfer this year. I mean, there's only 3, but I think he has really good upside. He has NFL potential. Boost Omen was the worst route that is used all the time, in your opinion. Oh, I don't know. Worst route. That's a hard one. I don't know. I'd have to think about that because I feel like there's no like bad route. I don't know. Tunnel screen maybe because that's just really hard to execute. I don't know. A faster Junior Hemingway. That's not a bad comp. You could even use like, I think Darboh could be a decent comp for him as well. Amara Darboh. See, here he is with speed again, okay? And this kind of reminds me a little bit of DPJ. I'm not saying he's DPJ, but he has the speed to make this work on the outside. It's pretty good. Nothing fancy, but again, when you have a guy that fast on the outside, he has kind of like deceiving speed. You wouldn't expect a guy who's 6'3" to have that speed to pick up 15 yards like that on a simple screenplay. Here, just a comfortable back shoulder, right? Good timing. Again, watch the hands, right? So he's got a good release here. Nice little setup. Boom. Sets up the defender by going to the inside here. Doesn't really sell 16 on it. 16 is actually defending this pretty well. But watch right when he's going for the route, you can see his hands right there. He's pushing off just a little bit. Doesn't take a whole lot, but just enough to create some space. Turns his body. Just looks really comfortable. And that's good. Little fist bump. There you go. He's got good wingspan as well to go with that. So thing I like to see all these different routes, right? He's able to do the back shoulder. He's able to run the fly route. He's able to do a slant. He's able to do a lot of different things. Here, crazy catch, right? I don't know what this route is. It's kind of like a broken play, right? But this guy just has hands all over Baldwin, and he somehow secures this catch one-handed. I mean, that's not an easy throw either, right? Look how ducky that that throw is. For him to be able to secure this catch one hand, come down, inbounds, and that's probably it. Ooh, that's down at the 1. But that's pretty great. Boost Omen, I'm going to go through these questions. I'll answer these at the end. So I'm not ignoring your questions. I'll answer them at the end once I'm through the film here. Here, again, very similar play to that last one. This one's against Grambling, I think, though. But another little hitch route, right? Little comeback route. And as soon as he catches it, he's already making 21 miss right here, right? So he's able to, boom, get upfield, and then he's heading to the sideline, right? Using that speed. And he's gone. So that's great. I like to see that he's really looking to maximize his yardage. Here we already saw that play. Subtle push off. Just another good angle. I like this guy up in the stands with his like shirt over. Oh, is that towel or a shirt? Either way, I like that guy up in the stands. I think it's a towel, but really funny. Here's the third play I highlighted. Just, again, he's got the ability to make a circus catch, right? And this is in stride. So, boom, sticks to his hand, keeps running. That's hard to do, right? And he just makes that look easy. Like that's, I mean, not the cleanest, right? He had to secure it with a second hand, but to do that in stride over the shoulder with one hand, I mean, it's an eyebrow raiser, right? So it's the kind of skill set he has. Here's another angle. This is a great angle of that one-handed snag with the defender all over him. That's good defense, you know? That's just better offense. To be able to secure that falling backwards is pretty insane. Here, good job. Tough pass, kind of low and at his knees. Able to get that one for the touchdown. Here again, defender all over him. Defensive pass interference. He's able to catch these like over-the-shoulder grabs that are like really tough. This one because he's got the defender already wrapped around him, right, pulling him down. But that's a really tough catch. That's really good body control and hand-eye coordination. Here's that play we already saw where he stretched it out for an extra 20 yards there. Here again, making guys miss after the catch. Now, at the Big Ten level, here he is again, a 50-50 ball. He wins these a lot, right? Guys shouldn't be calling this for offensive pass interference. If anything, it's defensive. But it's 50-50 ball. You usually let those play out. He's able to separate, get the touchdown. All right, these are his... Now we're moving into his high school film. Okay. So his high school film, he didn't have a whole lot, all right? He had only, let me look it up, 20 receptions, 401 yards, and 6 touchdowns his senior year. Okay, it's still kind of crazy to me that he didn't get, like, lower Division I offers. I guess he did, right? He went to Morgan State, but before he transferred to Jackson State. But I'm shocked he didn't have, like, MAC level offers, right? Or, like, schools kind of like that. Like, he seems like a guy who Eastern Michigan should have gone after or something, right? Because at that size, with that speed, he already had that, right? Like, he's still probably a little undersized, but he just didn't have a whole lot of production, right? He didn't go to a very well-known high school, Waterford Mott, I believe he transferred to. But, I mean, he had a great frame, so it's pretty shocking he didn't have any bigger offers out of high school. Kind of odd. But sometimes these guys slip through the cracks, right? It's just weird, especially if there's not if he doesn't go to camps or anything like that. I mean, he does look considerably faster now than he did in high school, which makes sense. But sometimes guys, by senior year of high school, their speed is what it is. But like right here alone, right? We've already seen like the strong hands, body control. This clip alone, I think, would get a MAC level offer. Okay? Because that's a tough catch. He maximizes it, times it really well, maximizes his reach to catch this. And then he has the body awareness to get a foot down, right? Like, look at that focus, right? He gets the foot down, drags it, no doubt touchdown. That's tough. That is like a strong hand, body control, tough catch. Takes a lot of coordination. This play alone from his high school film, if I'm a MAC program, I'm giving him an offer. Because that's a guy at that frame. You can use that at a MAC level. Okay? You don't need to even be fast. You can use that as a 6'3" wide receiver with that level of body control and strong hands. Here he is around the slant again. So for only 20 catches, it's really weird, right? For him to not be utilized more. Here again, another kind of fade back shoulder throw. Good body control, able to turn his body. Boom, catches that. Able to secure the feet. That might be out of bounds. But even so, you can see he has the awareness, right? Boom, catch, watch the feet, right? He's going for it, okay? So that's like an advanced level of receiving skill that he's already displayed here. And they utilized it quite a bit. Here, another back shoulder. He's physical enough to separate a little bit. Get the touchdown. So it's pretty shocking to me that he didn't have more offers out of high school. There again. Man, that's a tough catch. I mean, he got bumped a little bit, right? So maybe be a little bit stronger in your running. Looks like maybe just got tripped up. He's a playmaker. Seems to me not elite, but really good. Yeah. I don't think he's like first round NFL talent, but like mid round, I think for sure. Do we think our coach is taking to the next level? He'll test well enough, I think, to get to the next level, regardless of what he does at Michigan. I truly think he will. And he has 2 years of eligibility. So if next year doesn't work out for whatever reason, he'll have another year. But I think with his speed, if he can test in like the 4.5s, possibly high 4.4s, he seems to have a skill set that translates really well to the NFL. So I would be shocked if he didn't at least get like a late draft pick at the very least. I think that's his floor. Boo Stoneman, I think you got a lot of questions. I love it. Keep them coming. I'll get to them after we're done with the film here. There, strong hands. Oh, kind of bobbled that one a little bit. That was a contested catch. Here, secure the catch. Nothing too special. Got another 2 minutes or so of film here. Outside. Stop and catch. Trying to set up on the outside. Okay, he looks pretty crisp. Right? Maybe a little slight at his size, but not terribly so. I like his routes overall. Seems to have good instincts. Again, this is a guy, if you showed me this high school film and told me he was like a 3-star ranked 500 or so in the country, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Looks like he has a lot of upside. Pretty decent speed, good body control, good hands. And probably just a school that wasn't able to take advantage of his ability here. Here we see his blocking, okay? Now, that one maybe wasn't the best blocking, but he did get talked up as a blocker at the FCS level. So there is that. And that's really important, right? How quick you get. And there you can see he's a willing blocker, right? He came out flying, blocking all the way at the end of the play there. That's really good to see. Here it's a tough catch behind him, able to secure that one. Does he have any good blocks on film? Just a couple right there, Dependent Fanatic. Good timing. Not anything like huge, but here's another one. So like he needs to improve a little bit, right? He can use more explosion. He needs to learn how to turn his body a little bit. Again, this is from his high school film. So he could have improved a lot, and they do say that he is a good blocker at the FCS level. Here he is on a scramble. And the thing is, he's willing, right? He's getting in the way. That one on a scramble, he's looking to get out there and is at least getting engaged with guys, okay? So that's something that you just need to have at the next level, and something that looks like he'll at least be willing, okay? And that's the best thing that you can right there, right? He gets disengaged. He just needs to learn how to turn his body, right? Turn your body to the outside, right? He's facing this way. He just needs to get his butt here, recognize that I need to be blocking this way, right? Blocking away from the sideline, turn this defensive back. That'll allow your teammate to get to the sideline. So that's just a technique thing, but he's getting out there, right? Like he's going for it. So makes sense. Dom Stutzman. Pretty easy to see how these guys slip through the cracks. Donnie Bell is almost one of those guys, just having to get lucky and be seen by the right people. I mean, that's fair. Again, if you're not going to a bunch of camps, a little bit undersized, things like that. And there's also like a lot of wide receivers. I feel like there's a lot of wide receivers overall. So, yeah, if you're not like really, really pushing, it's understandable how a guy here or there can slip through the cracks, especially at a school, you know, maybe not as well known, things like that. It adds up. But he has a seemingly pretty good release off the line of scrimmage. Okay, I don't want to watch his defense because that's not really relevant. So yeah, main question with him, what will his starting path look like? I think, ooh, you guys hear that rain? It's storming out here. Let me move this up a little bit. So main question, will he start right away or will he rotate in? That's the main one. My prediction on the video I posted earlier, I predicted him to be the first guy off the bench, and that's to start the season, okay? I expect him to, like, split snaps with Cornelius Johnson. I think they're going to have, like, the same number of targets. I think he's, like, almost exactly a duplicate kind of Cornelius Johnson. That's actually not a bad comp either. I think very similar to Cornelius Johnson, because Cornelius Johnson, all caps, by the way, didn't mean to do that, but he was also very similarly sized, right? 6'2", 6'3", 195 out of high school, big framed receiver, large catch radius, 210 pounds, physical offline scrimmage, tough to reroute, accelerates well, good top end speed. Yeah, that rain has come down hard. Willing blocker, big strong hands. Yeah. This, like, I think honestly Cornelius Johnson and Baldwin are very, very similar players. That's a pretty good comp. And that might be a little cheap just because they're literally competing for the same position, but they have same size, very similar skill set. I think that's a pretty good comp. I said Tariq Black. Tariq Black was a little bit more bulky, a little bit more of a possession receiver. I think Cornelius Johnson is more of a speedster, and I think Baldwin falls within that as well. He's going to be at 3 spot, so kind of similar. Brandon Shrewsbury. It's a good name. Brandon Shrewsbury. I like that. Going to be at the 3 spot, so yeah, like third wide receiver. I could see that. Early rotation, see him more and more as season goes on, and Cade gets more comfortable with deep balls, outside throws. Yeah, that's another thing, because a quarterback needs to know kind of the intricacies of each wide receiver, right? Oh, Cornelius Johnson's running this route. I know on this route he does this, right? And you build that over years, that rapport. So that takes a bit of time. So as Dom Stutzman says, it makes sense to have a guy like Johnson who's more comfortable in the offense, more comfortable with Cade McNamara, get him in there early and rotate Baldwin in for, you know, a couple sets that he is more comfortable in, right? Rotate Baldwin in, get him more comfortable. As the season goes on, check where they're at, right? How is Johnson performing? How is Baldwin performing? And kind of adjust there if you need, right? They fill the same role, fill the same kind of skill set as well. So there's no problem in doing that at all. So yeah, man, this is a great spot. And I still have Ronnie Bell working on the outside, but if Baldwin does get up to speed quicker, you can put both Baldwin and Johnson on the outside, use Ronnie Bell in a slot, right? Same with Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson has the height to be an outside wide receiver. He has the speed. You can really use him on crossing routes from the slot position, right? You can do a lot of different things, and I'm excited more for the versatility it adds to the offense rather than just the skill set. It opens up a lot more for guys like Ronnie Bell, Roman Wilson, and you don't have to rely on a young guy right away, right? A guy like Andrel Anthony, who's getting good talk, he doesn't need to come in right away now that Michigan has an outside wide receiver in Baldwin to kind of fill that spot. Okay, will our QB be allowed to throw like his QB did? It looked like his QBs trusted him. I mean, good question. You know, how willing has Michigan been kind of in 50-50 balls? Kind of a mixed bag, right? You look at DPJ, he did pretty well on like different fades, different kind of routes into the end zone. But then you look at a guy like Nico Collins, who is severely underutilized, right? So your question's as, you know, it's a valid question. I don't think I can answer it for you. But as the year goes on, right, that's the thing. Early on, it's hard to really build that rapport with a wide receiver for a quarterback. Quarterback has to be really comfortable with a guy to throw a back shoulder pass, right? That timing, that timing is extremely important. It's everything for throws like that. So that just takes time and reps and practice to really build that. So it's you know, I think that is going to be the key factor for him, because I love his skill set as a like a jump ball type guy. Okay, let's go through some of these questions here. What path would Michigan have to take to get to the college football playoff once it gets to 12 games? All right, everything goes through Ohio State right now. I just think Ohio State's too good. 12 games and Michigan will get in, and I don't want to make this like all about the college football playoff. I'll probably do a video about this, but Michigan can continually compete from the number 5 to number 12 ranking overall. They can. And as you get playoff appearances, it helps close that gap on teams 1 through 4. Because teams 1 through 4 are usually both conference championships and the only playoff teams. Now, 1 through 4 will probably be conference championships. 5 through 12 in the playoff will be teams that were runner-up in their conference or things like that. So that helps close a recruiting gap by having those guys. We need a 50-50 guy like Nico. Yeah, and he seems like he can do that. And Cornelius Johnson, I still have really high hopes for. Let's see what else we got here. Who has the highest chance of replacing Harbaugh if he is fired? I don't know, man. Maybe Matt Campbell, but he just got a huge extension. I don't know. College football is so crazy. Things change so fast on who becomes available, who has a good season, things like that. So that's hard to say. Do we think coaches... Oh, already answered that one. Okay, not transfer related, but with the 12-team playoff potentially coming, do you think the Big Ten will remove divisions? I don't think so. No, I would have to think through that on why they potentially would, but I don't think you remove divisions. What was your least favorite thing about Josh Gaddis' offense? Seems like they abandon the game plan when they're down early, right? It seems like the offense just gets out of sorts, and if Michigan is down a touchdown or two, they abandon the play, like the game plan, and it just gets a little hectic. I also think they don't teach the RPO well enough, especially for the quarterback on reading when to give and when to keep. I think that's been a way that defenses have been able to take advantage of Gaddis' offense, is not making it as RPO friendly as it would like to be. And that's because of the key decision for the quarterback for a read versus, or for a give versus a take read. They don't do well when it's in that gray area, and defenses can key off of that. Okay, I think we're caught up. What is the worst route that is used all the time, in your opinion? Oh, I do have an answer for this. the fade route. The fade route from like the goal line. Like if you're on like the 5-yard line and you throw a fade, super low percentage. It's thrown all the time. I understand that certain wide receivers are really good at that, but it's such a low percentage play compared to almost every other play you could go with. So that's a good one. A fade like in the red zone, specifically like within the 10-yard line. Stupid play. Don't do it. Okay. I feel moderately to very confident in nearly every position group except linebacker. We have some guys and young potential, but no depth. That's fair. Yeah, linebacker is number 1 on my position now of like kind of worried. Defensive line probably second. Michigan needs to almost force the long ball to help open things up. Yeah, that's fair. Can you guys hear that thunder outside? It's like green skies outside. It's kind of crazy. I feel like he's a big-time pickup for us. Thank God OSU has pretty stacked wide receiver room because he came to us. Yeah, he probably would have ended up at Ohio State if not for the favorable depth chart at Michigan, right? He grew up an Ohio State fan, right? And he's from Michigan. So, yeah, that would have hurt, man. That would have really hurt. So, again, sometimes things do work out, right? If you're going to recruit 5-star wide receiver class after class, that's what you should do, and that's what Ohio State does do. But that does open up the door for guys like this, who the main priority is playing time, right? And Michigan can provide that. I want to see an on-schedule Gaddis offense. 2019 we fumbled, lost possessions or yards. 2020 was trailing by 14 every game. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I don't feel like Michigan played with a lead at all in any single game last year except for Minnesota, right? The offense against Minnesota looked awesome. Now, part of that was Minnesota also just sucking terribly, but the offense still looked on pace. They were still mixing up the run and the pass extremely well. They got Joe Milton really comfortable in that game, and that was like the only game where Michigan wasn't playing down 14. And some of that was bad luck. And 2019 was just tough. They seemingly can just never find a rhythm under Josh Gaddis. And whether that's execution or poor play calling, combination of both at times, and maybe the defense, right, setting up Michigan poorly in a few games. I think there's a lot of things, but if there's a year for the offense to really break out, this is the year. And if not, you're going to see changes on the coaching staff in a big way. Move this back up. Let me see. How did we go from best linebacker core in Big Ten to the worst? I wouldn't say we have the worst. It's just inexperienced. Think of all the transfers that Michigan's had at the position in the past couple of years. Drew Singleton, Jordan Anthony. A big reason for that, a lack of depth, is John Brown was a linebackers coach as well, right? So when the defensive coordinator, who's also the position coach, moves on, you're not going to have a whole lot of guys at that position group at this point. And Ross just took a huge step back last year, but it was a weird year. Are we getting Walter Nolan? No, I don't think so. I would go as far to say I will give one viewer of a live stream $50 if Walter Nolan commits to Michigan. All right, $50. Next, whenever Walter Nolan commits somewhere, the live stream I do after that happens, I will randomly give $50 to a viewer of that live stream. I think he's just destined for the South. I think he's probably going to go Bama or Florida. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Ross Hixson. Jake Summers, it was the only game. Every other game started down by at least 7. Yeah, it was really sad. Jake Summers. Brandon Shrewsbury. My thoughts on Big Ten removing divisions is because how lopsided the divisions are. East consistently better in the West. Seems top 2, 3. I mean, that's fair. I just don't think you can't make decisions on reclassifying a conference based on like a 10-year run. You just can't, because then you're just going to be doing it every 15, 20 years, right? And it's kind of weird. So it's not, I just don't think it's going to happen. I honestly don't. Will Gaddis be there all season? What are your thoughts? If Josh Gaddis is threatened to be fired or is fired through the season, Jim Harbaugh is likely gone. Okay? And I say that because the offense needs to carry the defense this year. The offense needs to carry the defense. First year under a new coordinator, first time coordinator of the defense, it's going to be at best a top 30, top 40 outfit on defense. So if the offense is not performing well enough, performing poorly enough where Josh Gaddis is even threatened to get fired, then you're talking mass transfers. You're talking Harbaugh's done at that point because the defense I just don't think will be that good right away. Now, again, I hope I'm wrong, but there's a lot of factors and a lot of time it takes for a defense to really be up to snuff with a new coordinator. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see that. So if Gaddis is getting fired, it's not going to be a top 40, top 50 team in the country. You're threatening a losing record at that point, and Harbaugh's gone at that point. Devontae Parker is a comp for Baldwin. Let me look that up, Jake Summers. Devontae Parker. How do I not remember this guy? Am I going to look really dumb when I look up his profile? Where'd he go? Louisville. 6'3", 180. Okay. Let's look up his film real quick. Copy that. Boom. Huddle. All caps again. Devontae Parker. Where was he out of? Is this him? Phoenix? Is he a Phoenix guy? No, he's Louisville. Not South Dakota. That doesn't look like him. Huddle. Or actually, what am I doing? Let's just look up Devontae Parker highlights and just see what he was like in at Louisville. There we go. All right, let's watch 2 minutes of this. All right, good body control. Okay, that looks pretty similar, right? Him looking to get the foot down. So he's got similar size. Okay, this is like a hype video thing. Oh, the choppy slow-mo. Oh. Use optical flow, buddy. Not frame bending or whatever. Frame sampling. It's a video editing thing. All right, good body control. Oh, trash talking the guy. Here's just a fly route. Again, very similar. Here, good arm usage to push off the wide receiver. He ended up getting a foot down. So he was around back when Teddy Bridgewater was around. What a catch. Okay, what's this play? Yeah, I mean, he's able to catch over the shoulder kind of at a similar level Baldwin did as well, right? So this is a pretty good comp. What was his speed? Let's look that up, all right? Devontae Parker 40 time. 4.45. So he's probably faster. So I would say Devontae Parker may be a ceiling for him, but use him a lot in jump ball situations, good hands, good body control. It's a decent comp. I'll give you that one. I try to keep guys like a Michigan comp, but for a non-Michigan comp, there's probably a lot of guys just because there's a lot of wide receivers, but that's a pretty good one. Okay, Keon Sabb. I honestly haven't looked up enough about Keon Sabb. I would say Michigan looks more favorable for Sabb than Walter Nolan at this point. Will the offense or defense be the best this season? I doubt Gaddis and Harbaugh. It's got to be Gaddis. And I'll say it again, if Gaddis and the offense isn't better than the defense this year, it's likely a 7-win season maximum. That's where I'm at. I like Hart at OC more than I like Gaddis. See, I don't know Hart's future. Hart's future seems to me more like a head coach rather than a coordinator, right? I'm kind of getting vibes of Mike Hart is on a similar path to Mo Linguist, right? Mo Linguist was like a recruiting guy first, good position coach, got promoted to like co-defensive coordinator, right? Where he was more running the recruiting for the defensive side, things like that. He wasn't really installing the defense. I think Mike Hart, who I think is he not associate head coach? He was at least associate head coach at Indiana. His path is going to be kind of similar on the offensive side, where he's a good recruiter, good position coach, really good. But I think he seems more like a head coach than a a future offense coordinator for me. But I mean, we haven't seen Hart as a true offense coordinator. So saying he's better than Gaddis is like, I don't know. Order of confidence by position, lowest to highest. Okay, Dom, let's see what you got. Linebacker, corner, DT, wideout, special teams, O-line, D-end, quarterback, running back, tight end, safety. Safety doesn't have a whole lot of depth, so I think that's a little high. Tight end, I think I'd put wideout quite a bit higher. I think I would have running back at the top. Quarterback is probably about right. Safety I would put a little lower. I think I would probably switch safety and running back just because of lack of depth at safety. D-end is probably at about the right position, as is O-line. I would put wideout probably a little higher, and then I would switch out DT with corner. I think corners will be okay, but I think line. So my order would probably be linebacker, interior defensive line, corner, special teams, D-end, wideout, O-line, safety, tight end, running back. That's my order. Which will be the best unit running back? I think losing Giles is the thing I'm hung up on. I think Roman Wilson's going to do extremely well. I think you got a lot of young guys as well. AJ Henning is one that I think can fill in for Giles as well. I like everything else on your list. Yeah, it's a pretty good list. You're in the right time zone, right area. The weird thing, Dom Stutzman, is that like for the spring game, the like murmurs out of that was that the defense was ahead of the offense, and that has me terrified because in spring, under a new defense, you're telling me the defense is already ahead of the offense? That's scary, right? That would terrify me. So I don't know. I would rather see Matt Weiss as offense coordinator than Hart. I mean, honestly, I would want a guy who's more established outside the program, right? Pay a guy $1.5 million to run your offense and have him be an established guy. So, like, could Weiss be an offensive coordinator? Probably better than Hart, but I think you just would need a new coach. I spilled water all over myself. Okay. All right, a couple more questions, then I'll get out of here. Oh, one thing. All right, guys, I got to do it. We are 15 subscribers away from 4,000. So if you can subscribe, let's get to 4,000. I just have to do that. Sorry, guys. Ross Hixson. I am a Roman Wilson fan. Yeah, Roman Wilson. I mean, how many guys run in the 4.3s, right? Not a whole lot. I think he showed quite a bit of promise as a true freshman, and true freshman wide receivers usually don't see much time, and he looked pretty good out there. So if he's able to bulk up a little bit, I want to watch his weight coming into this season. If he's able to put on, he was really small last year. If he's able to put on 10 pounds this offseason and keep most of that speed, watch out. New blood on defense that hasn't failed yet. I don't know what that means, fanatic. Yeah, I think wide receiver has a ton of depth this year, man. It just comes down to quarterback. Knock on wood, staying healthy, right? Because there were a lot of injuries on the offensive line. I'm confident in the O-line overall. And the running back room, I'm probably most confident about for the entire team. You're telling me you got Haskins, Corum, and Donovan Edwards? And Tavier Dunlap is like a really solid Hassan Haskins clone? So I'm not worried about any of the skill positions this year for Michigan. Name the last time Michigan had a better QB than OSU. Oh, God. 2011, Denard. Who was 2011? Was that a young Braxton Miller, right? Is that who that was? That's got to be it. It's got to be Denard. Denard was electric. Now, you could argue maybe he wasn't a better QB, right? Better playmaker at the quarterback position, without a doubt. But I think that's got to be Denard for the last time Michigan had a better QB than OSU. Yeah, Miller was a freshman. Yeah. So Miller, after that year, excellent quarterback. But there are a lot of things going on with OSU as well. And again, if your team is shit, right, which 2011 OSU was, your quarterback's not going to look good, right? When you have so many things not going well, then you're in trouble. That's fair. Gardner was pretty good. New coaches are good for the defense, and the offense hasn't been great since Harbaugh arrived. I think defense will be the best overall. It's a bold take, Fanatic. That's a bold take. It's better, I think, for the athletic profile of the defense for the new coaches, but we don't know what they're going to look like, right? Like, we have tons of good things said about a lot of these coaches, but we just don't know. Who's starting O-line? I'd like to see Hayes, Keegan, Zinter, Stuber, Barnhart. I think that's probably what you're going to see. You have some flexibility at the center position. You do have, what is it now, 6-year center. I can't even think of his name. I'm going to have to pull up the roster. The walk-on. Who is that guy? Football roster, please. I can't even search for the center position. Oh, it's just O-line. We'll go through all this. Willie Allen still on the roster? That's very odd. Who's the guy I'm thinking of? The walk-on. Who am I thinking of? Vestardis. There you go. Thank you, Jake Summers. I was struggling with that. Yeah, Vestardis. So yeah, you got some versatility there, but Andrew Vestardis, there it is. But yeah, I think Zinter at center makes a lot of sense. Jake Rudock, he was great, man. I love Jake Rudock. Let's pray health cause most positions to what? Oh, pray for health because most positions do not have proven depth. That's fair. Rudock was close. JT Barrett was really good that year. Yeah, JT Barrett was phenomenal that year. One thing I promised to give this guy a shout out. Okay, give me a second. How do I? Give me a sec. Give me 1 second. I don't want to show you guys all my DMs, but I got a DM from this guy from Spain, and he oops, sorry. But dude from Spain DM'd me, and he had a suggestion for extending the videos to include some highlight film analysis during that video. So instead of just doing live stream, include some plays there. And I agreed, and I was like, yeah, that's probably good. But thank this guy, Curo Terron, for his suggestion, and I used that for the first episode in the Talkin transfers for the top 3. So I take your guys' feedback into consideration. So always feel free to reach out on Twitter if you have a suggestion of how I could improve it, right? Because you guys are the one watching. I do this a lot to learn about these guys myself. But if there's anything that I can do in a video to make things more clear or easier to follow, drop me a line on Twitter at Steven Toski. But thank you, Kuro, for your suggestion. And I'll probably do that for videos moving forward. Do like a top 3, like this is the play where I really pay attention to for a guy's skill set, right? I think that's valuable. Okay. Denard Robinson, Wildcat running back, should have played behind Dem Gardner that 1 year. He could also throw, man. Dependent Fanatic, Denard was like the perfect threat for an RPO, right? He was terrifying for an RPO. So I think Michigan was right to use him as quarterback. You get him involved on every single play. Yeah, before his injury, that just sucked that it messed up his throwing hand. Big Chuck ran out of time to develop. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that Chuck Filiaga hasn't worked out yet. High hopes for him. Josh Gaddis just needs to open up playbook, throw bombs, we'll light teams up, new weapons we have. Yeah, I mean, the tough thing about that is if you're always throwing deep, you're not establishing a good rhythm, right? If you're always going for a deep ball, lower percentage of that working out, you'll end up in third and longs more. Rudock, best QB Michigan's had under Harbaugh. 2016, Wilton Spate was really, really good. It was also a really good team, but Spate was pretty solid. But I did love Jake Rudock. He was great. Chuck Filiaga's on the 2 deep. He's probably like the 7th guy, like 7th offensive lineman, maybe 8th overall. So he could see some rotation time. He'd be on the field if there were an injury or so. Argue Shea was a better QB under Harbaugh. Our play calling wasn't the best for skill set. Shea Patterson was a good quarterback. Spate was good, had bad lines. That's true. Yep. Yeah, it seems like there's always just been something, right? There's always been something that's kind of kept Michigan away from having a true productive season out of a quarterback, right? And you just had a lot of flashes. Spate was great before he, broke a rib, whatever that injury was. And then he kind of lost things a little bit. Kind of the same thing with Shea Patterson. Really, really solid year. Came back, wasn't the best. If you never throw deep and always run the ball on first, second down for 0-2 yards, team stack the box, never threaten them with a deep ball. Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that at all, Cameron Barnes. It's just about balance, right? I've been critical of play calling under Josh Gaddis for quite some time because they don't have balance, right? When you have a guy like Nico Collins, you're not taking advantage of that threat down the field more than once a game, then you're kind of a crazy person, right? So I definitely agree that, Michigan's got weapons to stretch out the defense a bit, and they absolutely should do that. But the running game also was bad last year, and that doesn't help either. Shea in 18 was good. Lots of stuff about injury. In 19, questions on work ethic. Yeah, that's fair. It was his spine, Toski. That's right. Yeah, it was his spine. I knew it was around the midsection, but it was... Yeah, I do remember that. God, it just sucks. Tough injury to come back from. Okay, guys. I'm out. I got to prep this next video. Jordan Whitley coming to Michigan from Oregon State. He'll be the episode 2 focus for this Wednesday. But I'll be live streaming on Wednesday. So if you guys can throw a like on this video and subscribe, we're very close to 4,000. I had a goal to get to 4,000 before the season. Looks like we'll get there, but we're about 14 away. So if you're not subscribed, consider doing so. If you already are, then you're the best, and I appreciate it. But okay, guys. Yeah, don't worry, Dom. I'll talk about him, how he was a running back. He has a crazy history. Okay, guys. I'll see you